Hello everybody, my name is Neng Mikoi. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the topic of the Minneapolis shooting in basically all summary. So in recently there's been a lot of really big news recently, right? And so one thing that I've been updating recently that's been stunning every single individual in the United States and screamed up and it came up with a protest of the fairness of the government itself. So it is the case of the Minneapolis shot, which now I'm gonna be talking to you guys. So in one day, right after Rainy Nicole Good, I'm gonna be call her Good. She just dropped off her 6-year-old son at school when she encountered the ICE agents. So the ICE agents is the main people that's facing criticism in this topic today that we're talking about. So the ICE agents is basically the agents, the police on the work, and so at that time Goods was traveling in her maroon SUV, and so she was causing traffic jam because the road, both two sides are filled with ice, and so she's still trying to struggle with her driving. And then people were honking, people were telling her to move quickly, and so the police officers they started to know, they started to catch on that, and then they said, hey, get out of the car, try to move off quick, or get out of the car. And so she did not want to get out of the car because at that time she was wanting to run away. And so she tried to move her vehicle. And so at that time, the agents, I'm gonna be naming him I. So I here. And so I is too bad. I'm gonna name him N. So N at that time was going out of the vehicle of his vehicle with a phone in his hand like this. And he was like recording the whole time for footage or for later reasons so that maybe he could track who it is, etc. And so at the time he was recording the phone. And for instance, this is the SUV, okay? Here is the police officer that's telling her to get out of the car. And so he's trying to pull to open the car while the SUV is in moving. So she's wanting to be like that. So like she's wanting to like move. And so here is the SUV. And so the agent, the N person, he went over to this side. So this is the sides of the SUV, for example. This is the head of the SUV. And so he was going right here, or like right here. Okay? And so the other officer was telling her on this car, on this side of the car, hey, get out of the vehicle. So she didn't, all right? And she was trying to take a turn because you guys know that the road is like this. Her car is almost off the road. And so when she had to take a turn, she had to move back and then turn. And so here's the car. She had to move it back like this, and then she ran away. And so when she was just moving out of it, here's the police officer and so he was standing here. He was not in any contact with the SUV, so that basically means the SUV did not want to attack him at all. But then he immediately took out his fire gun and fired 3 shots in close distance directly into the window of the SUV and took away the life of Goods. And so basically he was here for no reason that no people still knows by this day. He shot 3 times. One time through the window, and the other one time is through like the front view mirror, and the other 2 times is by this window. So by the side windows. And so she was completely bleeding. She completely died because the 3 shots, they were first too powerful, and secondly they were too near, and so she is surrounded into her death. And so then she, because she was dead and her vehicle is still on the run, she collided into the white car and the other car on the front row. So those cars were like parked by the road, and so she collided in and she completely fainted and passed away. And so the police officers at that time did not have any wanting to go over to offer medical supply or any types of emergency supplies, but they just ignore, they just walk away. Then the N people, the N agent, he went over to his colleagues and he said, hey, call 911. And then they left the scenario. The people that are bystanders were very, very shocked, stunned, and they kept on saying shame on the agents. One bystander, that is a physician, offered to check her pulse, but then the agents totally said no, and so he was not able to do anything to help, to offer help, and so they just completely drive away. Donald Trump, for that story, he said that it was a defensive shot, that he was shouting because the car is trying to attack him, to attack Anne. But a lot of videos, a lot of recordings have shown that the car did not collide into him at all, and it's rather him who should very, very first in the first place. And so this ran a really, really big protest into the fair and to the legal of the stories, and a lot of people are still arguing about this topic, especially the US people. Good is a good citizen. She had a hard life, but she's a very good person. Her life is hard, but she's a good one. And so she just moved into Minnesota recently, but then she passed away sadly. And so her father, her mother, her grandfather, they all grieve her so much. Her mother said that she's a very kind and compatible person, and that her grandfather commented that her very, very little son, 6 years old, now no longer has her in his life. And so that just shows how this story is very, very unconvincing, and that to me as a person that is very, very loving, I feel like this situation is very unfair to goods. What about your guys' opinion? Please tell me about it. Thank you and goodbye.